Hello everyone, commanders! Recently one of the comments under my video asked for a dedicated guide covering vehicles and mechs, and that request inspired me for something much bigger. I am currently working on an extended education series focused entirely on vehicles, plus a separate section devoted to the mech mechanics and optimization. When finished, the full project should span roughly 8 to 10 videos, each designed to deliver high-impact knowledge without unnecessary filler. The goal of this series is simple: compressed, practical strategy guides that respect your time while maximizing your progression. Each episode is structured into 3 or 4 focused segments, so you can quickly learn, apply, and see results in real gameplay. Instead of stretching content for runtime, these guides concentrate on actionable insights that directly improve your performance. In today's episode, we begin with the essential fundamentals. We will break down what vehicles actually do in the combat, how bonus stats interact with troop types, and when upgrading your vehicles produces the biggest power spike for your account. Future episodes will expand into advanced topics such as selecting the best vehicles for different playstyles, optimizing upgrade priorities, mastering skill combat, mastering skill mechanics, and uncovering hidden synergy combination that many players overlooked. Now that you know what's coming in this series, let's move straight into the core mechanics you need to understand first. Whew! Vehicles play a crucial strategic role because they don't just add raw stats, they fundamentally enhance how your army performs on the battlefield. Yes, they provide boosts such as attack, defense, health and lethality for your troops, but their real strength lies in their special abilities. These abilities can create shields that absorb incoming damage, trigger additional area of effect attacks, or apply unique combat effects that influence the battle's outcome. Choosing which vehicle to deploy should never be a random decision. The correct pick depends on two key factors: your play style and the opponent you are facing. Many players assume that simply selecting a higher generation vehicles or that with higher BP, aligning with their hero type is always optimal. In reality, that approach can sometimes reduce your effectiveness. For example, imagine using a defensive style vehicles whose ability reduces incoming damage. That sounds powerful on paper, and it absolutely is in difficult battles. However, if your account is significantly stronger than your opponent, especially during events where you face weaker targets, for example, Path of Water, that defensive effect loses value. In those situations, a vehicle with lower base stats but an offensive ability that deals additional damage may actually be a superior choice because it helps you end the fight faster. This illustrates one of the most important strategic lessons. Vehicle generation, raw stats, or rarity alone should never be your only criteria. Practical usefulness in a specific battle scenario matters far more than theoretical power. The best players evaluate context first, then choose the tool that produces the strongest real-world result. Okay, so now let's focus on upgrade skills intervals and optimization strategy. I think it's one of the most important topic of today's video, because every time you upgrade a vehicle's star level, you are improving two possible factors: the strength of its ability and the frequency with which that ability activates. Which of those increases depends on whether the vehicle is designed for offense or defense, but both are extremely valuable. If the vehicle is offensive, upgrades usually mean stronger damage output or more impactful offensive effects. If it's defensive, improvements might reduce incoming damage further or strengthen protective shields for your troops. However, one statistic that deserves special attention is skill interval, the time between ability activations. Reducing the interval is often more impactful than simply increasing raw damage or protection values. Why? Because abilities that trigger more frequently can influence on flow of the battle multiple times instead of just once. A vehicle that activates its skill repeatedly can stack advantages throughout the fight, steadily shifting momentum in your favor. That's why advanced players don't just upgrade blindly. They prioritize upgrades that shorten activation intervals and maximum ability uptime. The more often your vehicle uses its skill, the more value you extract from it during every engagement. So, to the edge. Mastering vehicle is not about collecting the strongest ones. It's about understanding how and when to use them. When you combine smart selection, strategic upgrades and situational awareness, vehicles transform from simple stat booster into battle-deciding assets. In the next guides, we will dive deeper into specialization builds, optimal combinations and advanced tactics so you can turn every march into a calculated advantage.